Thank you for joining our RedEye webinar. Before we get into the actual demonstration of RedEye, which we will provide, we'd like to first give you kind of a high-level overview of the RedEye product and where it's targeted. Then we'll get into the actual demonstration. One quick slide first on Hagerman & Company. For those of you who aren't familiar, Hagerman & Company, we've been in business for over 40 years now, through constant ownership and management over the course of our business. So very stable organization. We cover all of North America and beyond with our sales and services. Also, very importantly, we've been doing engineering, data, and document management, like with the RedEye product, for over 30 years now. And we've done well over 1,200 successful customer projects. We offer multiple different solutions to our customers. So we try to work with each particular customer to help them determine what system is going to be the best for them. And we also have different document control focus teams to focus on the specific needs of different industries, whether it's discrete manufacturing, campus facilities, or industrial facilities. Accruent is the company behind RedEye. Some of you may already be familiar with Accruent through their Meridian product, which we at Hagerman Company also work with. But Accruent is an organization that's strictly focused on helping organizations manage their physical assets, physical resources, buildings, and spaces. So RedEye fits right in with that. And Accruent has a portfolio of solutions for engineering, document management, asset management, space management, IoT, energy management, and much more. Now, the RedEye product is designed to be the hub of technical documentation, very similar to Meridian and probably other products out there. There are some unique characteristics of RedEye which we want to focus on in this presentation. So with RedEye, again, it integrates and manages CAD data, which is very important to most of our customers, and then can serve as a repository for people in operations and maintenance to be able to retrieve those drawings and documents to do their work. RedEye can also integrate with other critical in-house systems you might have, like asset or maintenance management systems, geospatial or GIS systems. And also, a very unique thing with RedEye is that it also enables secure collaboration with external parties, all in the same platform. So the key problems RedEye can solve, some of these we've kind of hit on. RedEye can manage any type of document, not just CAD, but it does work with CAD. As you'll see in the demonstration, RedEye has an easy search view print interface, which is available 24/7. Also, RedEye has excellent support for engineering projects to manage both as-built and project copies, keep them tied together for automated handovers and assignment to projects. And RedEye also supports concurrent engineering, where you can have the same drawing or document assigned to multiple simultaneous projects. And then, as we just mentioned, the collaboration with outside parties. Now, there are 3 different levels of RedEye at different price points and different feature sets, whether it's basic, advanced, and enterprise. We're not going to delve deeply into the specific details of each one in this presentation, as opposed to giving you more of a high-level overview of everything RedEye can do. Some other unique things about RedEye and why people might select it. It is an unlimited user pricing model. So their licensing costs are not per user. So you can bring a lot of outside parties on for a project without having to add any more licenses. RedEye pricing does scale up based on number of documents and level of the product. RedEye is a full SaaS-based solution. So Accruent and RedEye, provide all of the software, the server resources, server management, all those types of things. But then RedEye can also sync the files on site for you in case the internet goes down. You've still got access to your files. I think you'll see the ease of use in the presentation. RedEye is a single user interface, a common user interface for all types of users. So you don't have different people in the company using different user interfaces to interact with the same system. And then, as we mentioned, RedEye supports both internal document control and outside collaboration in a single platform. RedEye works well on mobile devices, also offers QR code support. With RedEye, you can create saved searches or collections of documents. RedEye will create a unique QR code for those, which can be printed out and then affixed on a piece of equipment, a building, a room, whatever, so that maintenance people can scan the QR code and immediately have all of the documents they need to work on that piece of equipment or in that area. RedEye has advanced import tools. RedEye also, because it's got Autodesk Forge built in, has excellent 2D and 3D native view and markup. So you don't need to convert CAD files to a different format to be able to view them in RedEye. And if you're not familiar with Autodesk Forge, it supports viewing on basically all the Autodesk file formats, but a lot of other non-Autodesk CAD files as well. Another unique feature with RedEye is that it does OCR searching. So if you have older scan drawings or maybe PDFs created of CAD drawings where it's not true text in the file, RedEye can search and retrieve on that. RedEye really has the capability, if our eyes and our brains can discern the text, what it says, RedEye can search and retrieve on that. And then we talked about projects and concurrent engineering, and then also the GIS and asset management integration. Just a couple of quick slides on the system integration, because we know that is important to a lot of people. Just a couple of examples. So here is an example of an integration between RedEye and Maximo, which is a very popular asset or maintenance management solution. SAP is another one. So here in the background, you can see we're on an asset record in Maximo. And then with RedEye, you can have a button on your Maximo screen where you click that button and it will automatically query RedEye and pull up all of the drawings and documents related to that piece of equipment. A similar example here with a GIS system. Go to a location or an asset in the GIS, click, and RedEye will do basically the same thing and retrieve all of the drawings and documents for it. Another big concept with RedEye to understand is the concept of groups. Groups is something that really is critical and valuable for allowing proper access to outside parties and assigning files to particular projects. So here's kind of a graphic example where I've got a picture of a campus. I've got a large filled rectangle around the whole campus. So all of the drawings and documents for the entire campus could be in a group called All Campus. The ones for this specific building could also be in a group called Student Union. Then if you're doing a project in this wing of the Student Union, the files for that can be in a group, also in a group called Project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can invite your outside project partners in to access just the files for that group. So the concept of groups is big and very powerful within RedEye. So now if we look at RedEye itself, so RedEye runs in a web browser. There's no add-ins, downloads, installs to use it. It's just go to the URL and go. So you can see the user interface with RedEye is very clean and uncluttered. If I go to recent, this just shows me all of the most recent files I've accessed, because that's very handy. Or I've got the capability, maybe for a current project I'm working on, I can mark the files for that project as a favorite. Also, I can do searches here, and we'll get into the searching a little bit later. So if I want to go and take a look at a particular file, looks like my thumbnail needs to be updated there. So now if I go into this particular file, I can get more details on it and perform actions on it. So you can see the viewing is excellent in RedEye. So this is actually viewing the native DWG. If it was a Revit model, for instance, the native Revit model would pop up right here, and I can rotate around. So some of the features and capabilities in RedEye that I can use on an individual file, I can do markups. And RedEye supports markups in 3 different ways. It's got its own on-screen markup tool built in. You can use another tool, save a markup, and then upload that as a markup linked to this native file. You can also, with RedEye, if I print this to a drawing, RedEye will put a barcode on the hard copy. Then somebody could take that to their desk, mark up with a pen or pencil, scan that, email it to a RedEye email address. RedEye will read that barcode and automatically link it back to this drawing as a markup. So very flexible and powerful in doing markups however you need to do them in the real world. RedEye has full workflow capabilities, both some built-in workflows and custom. Obviously, we can print here. We can also batch print with RedEye. Also here, we can get in and see the metadata or properties assigned to this particular drawing. And this is just the way this particular RedEye demo environment has been set up. So some of the properties we've got set here: class, discipline, facility, process unit, and so on. And that's all just whatever you need. RedEye can also, either through an integration with GIS, manually input, or from another source, you can have latitude and longitude data assigned to each file and access files from a map view. And then here you can see RedEye. You can type in properties. You can select them off a drop-down list. RedEye does support parent-child lookup lists. We can also go in here and we can see the revision history of the file. So you can see I've used this file in a lot of presentations. So you can see its full history. In fact, I could pick revision 1. Yeah, so I can pick my current and my latest, and I can actually do a side-by-side or overlay comparison with them. If I do that, so now I can do a compare. Hopefully I picked the 2 correct files. And if I do a split, you can see, okay, that was my original. Here's my new one. You can actually overlay and then fade between the 2. So that can be very, very handy. Also, if I go into tools, that just gives me other common commands that I can do to execute on this particular file. Upload, download. So it's very easy. I can download for checkout, make my change, upload the new new revision. So all your common, document management commands to operate on a file that you would expect are in here. If we get into some of the searching capabilities, so RedEye is very search driven, has a very nice search UI. So if I just typed in hazardous as a search term, and that just finds every file where hazardous is anywhere in the name or any of the properties. So I got quite a few files. You can see I got 27 of them. I can also here, switch. I can see a grid. If I want to see my list in a grid view, I can go to that. I can go to a table view where I've got more columns for the properties. Also here is where I can go to a map view. These files don't have any GPS codes assigned to them, but if they did, they would appear as dots, and then I can zoom in. If I clear that search, I can come in, show another example of a search. I could say just search specifically in the title for instrumentation. And you can see you've got different operators or conditions available. So that finds every file with instrumentation in the title. I actually got 117 files. I could clear that, and I could do more of a cascading metadata search. So I could say, for instance, facility is Cheecham. Do a search. That gets me 184 artifacts. So if I want to find the files to use, I probably need to filter a little bit more. So then I could say my process unit should be feed conveyor. Filtering down, I could go one more level and say my discipline, which is kind of what I'm using for a document type, is equipment file. So now we're down to 15. I can then save that search if I want to, and I'll just give it a code here, CHE, feed, equipment. Save that. So now I've got that as a saved search here that I can click on anytime, and it'll automatically retrieve that list of files. I can also, if you want to see it, there's the QR code that's been generated for that save search. So I can print it, again, put it on a piece of equipment, then scan that. The user is going to get those files. So, doing that with a mobile device. Let me clear that search. Also with RedEye, you can, in RedEye, they call it visualized metadata. Those of you who might be familiar with Accruent's other system, Meridian, they call it navigation views, but it's the same thing, which will allow me to browse to files via a virtual hierarchy. So for instance, I could switch to region, process unit, discipline. So now I can browse, I can go to Europe, kind of go in the same place, feed conveyor, equipment files. So users can also browse through a virtual folder hierarchy to find files as well. And that's all fully customizable and configurable. And then here it shows you the search that it dynamically constructed to get that. Now I want to go ahead and close down my visualized metadata view there on the left. And then once we do that, we're going to take a look at some of the advanced 3D CAD viewing capabilities for viewing native files right inside of RedEye. I'm going to click on this Navisworks file, and it's going to actually use the Autodesk Forge viewing capabilities, which allows viewing of a host of
Autodesk and non-Autodesk 2D and 3D CAD files. So the users can go in, view the files, rotate around, explode, do markups. So really outstanding native CAD viewing capabilities are in RedEye that really don't exist in other systems. Now back here at the home screen, I'm going to run another quick search for the word hazardous across all document properties, and you can see I get 27 artifact or file results. And notice there on the left, you can see there's a checkbox beside each file, so I can actually select multiple files to operate on at once, or click at the top, it'll select all of them. Then I can go to collection, and that brings up all of the commands for batch editing files in bulk.
Okay. If we go to some additional functionality here, I want to talk about the groups functionality. And you can see here's some different groups that are created here. In the real world, you might have a group called for a department within your company, so that, department in your company would be the people, and then the documents that they own or control, or it could be for a building, all of the files for this building, or it could be the name of a project with all of the files for a project. If I just go into this group we have here, you can see, so if this was for a project, you would see the audit trail of all the actions on the files within that project. Artifacts is RedEye's term for files or records. So it'll be all of the files that are assigned to that project, for example, the users that are in that group and what privileges they have. You can run reports, upload additional files into the project, set up notifications. So again, groups is a very, very powerful functionality. Some other dashboards that are here. A big RedEye, it is critical in terms, since RedEye is so driven by searches and metadata. Metadata quality is of course very important for RedEye. So here I can go in and see some graphical reports on my metadata quality. So you can see only 42.8% of my files have the discipline filled in. 96.1 have facility filled in. If I click, this will show me all of the files where the facility property is missing. I can then select them and go in and fill in the proper values as needed there. So those dashboards are very critical. And I could go on and on with the RedEye demonstration, going into more and more features. Today, we really kind of wanted to give you a quick intro and understanding of the product. So I'm going to show one last feature, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up for now. The OCR content searching was a feature we wanted to show. So for instance, I can say OCR content must contain cup washer. That found one file, and then if I go to it, you can actually see it read that handwritten text in an old scanned paper drawing and searched and retrieved based off of it. So I think that's can be a very impressive feature and can be a very valuable feature for facilities that still have a lot of scanned paper drawings that people need to find and use. So again, I think we'll wrap up for here today in this presentation. Like I said, we're always available to work with any one-on-one for questions or more specific needs and presentations.